Hey Francesca, welcome to the Maestro Online.
Hello, thank you very much.
It's so good to have you here. Now, I've followed you for a while. Your playing is amazing, but how did you begin?
Well, I began as a young child. I come from a non-musical family, let's say. So it was I listened a song at the radio. I didn't know which kind of music was that, so I asked my mom. I said, "Which kind of music is that?" I was like 5 or 6. I really loved this song I heard. And my mom, she was like, "This is jazz music." So I said, "Well, then I'm gonna be a jazz musician." That's what I said first thing. And they knew I really liked the piano. So my parents, they were really nice and supportive. So they sent me to piano lessons. Of course, I started with some classical training. I studied classical for quite some years. And then when I was a teenager, I attended some jazz courses in some schools, some combo classes. Actually, I didn't really have a teacher, but I was attending some combo classes in a very, very nice music school in Rome, where I was born and raised. And there I met a lot of musicians. And very, very soon I started to perform some little cafes, some private parties. I was 16, 17 when I started to perform. And by 2021, 22, I was already performing a lot, mostly in Rome and in Italy. And then I moved to the Netherlands. I was there for 11 years, and I studied at the Royal Conservatory of The Hague for 4 years and the Codarts of Rotterdam for 2 years. So I studied 6 years. And I also expanded my network. So, I started to play with people also from Northern Europe, and I met so many amazing musicians from all over the world, basically. So yeah, and then everything went,
Would you say that everything's just grown for you, or looking back, was there a particular moment, a particular break in your career where things suddenly, wow, went bigger?
I think, well, everything went, no, slowly, but there were some moments. There was some, how do I say, not only one particular moment, for instance, that could be if I was called by a very famous musician or, no, this never happened like that. Um, every once in a while, I met people that changed my path for the best. You know what I mean? So there were like
Yeah,
5 or 6 meetings throughout my life and my career that really changed the course of the event for the best. And everything went very smooth. I mean, of course, I always like had very often I had these moments of insecurity, like I'm not good enough. I can make it. It's too tiring. It's a difficult kind of life, because
yes,
to be an artist is already very challenging thing, to make a living out of it, and also to deal uh, with all the yeah, the the things that an artist has to deal with, like talking about insecurities and competition sometimes, or confronting yourself with yourself and with others. It's very difficult, I think, to be an artist. And so things went smooth, but it was not easy. Yeah, but things
yeah,
went smooth, and let me believe from beginning that that was really my way. That's what I
yes.
should do, because things went always in the right direction. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Do you have any particular artists that have inspired you more than others?
Let's say that there are some piano players in the history of jazz that have inspired me a lot. Um, the very, very first one was Keith Jarrett. I love him, love him, love the harmonies of Keith Jarrett, everything about him. I really liked the trio, the latest trio with Gary Peacock and Jack DeJohnette. I remember as a youngster, I had all his records and I was obsessed with that. Although I didn't really understand what was going on because it was very, very advanced music, but I loved it. Then Bill Evans, I love Bill Evans so much. Still love him very much. Later on, I discovered Oscar Peterson.
Hmm.
I was already in my 20s when I discovered Oscar Peterson and in my early 20s. And that was really, whoa, what is that? It was different from what I've listened till then. And then I got passionate about that kind of piano players of that period of time. Like, I don't know, for instance, yeah, like all the Bebop piano players, Bud
Yeah.
Powell, Wynton Kelly, Hampton Oz, Phineas Newborn, a lot. And then lately, one of my very favorite was Gene Harris. I really, really, really love the Ray Brown trio with Gene Harris. And through Ray Brown trio and Gene Harris, I discovered the amazing, incredible Benny Green, which fantastic. And yeah, so there were many, many piano players that inspired me. Many.
And was there a particular highlight to your career? Have you got one moment that you can think of that shines over every other?
Excuse me, like in my
In,
career.
in your whole career, yeah. Is there one musical moment or one moment within your career that to you stands out as the most special?
There were a lot of beautiful moments, some nice collaborations. Last summer, I got invited by a very famous band called Snacky Puppy. I got invited to join them in a big festival in Italy, which is called Umbria Jazz, which is one of the best venues you can imagine in Italy. And they actually, the leader of the band, which is called Michael Leake, amazing guy, amazing musician, he contacted me and said, you know, I really like your playing. I would like to invite you to perform with us. And that was really an incredible moment. And also, I didn't tell anybody that I was about to do that. And after that, I discovered that because there were a lot of people there to listen to the Snacky Puppy. When I appeared, there were a lot of friends of mine and students of mine, and people could not believe it because it's actually quite far from my world also, musically. It was an interesting moment because I had to confront myself with some different music because they use mostly keyboards and so me I'm like piano. I only play piano and in a quite classical way, you know, and I had to get out from my comfort zone. It was very interesting. This was or another moment. Uh, yeah, you know, I like I have two steady trios. One is with some international musicians. There is a Dutch drummer and a Brazilian bass player. And the Italian trio is with my husband on double bass. And he's an amazing Italian double bass player. And very good, amazing drummer, which I used to know from many, many years. We grew
Yeah.
up together, basically. So I think it's very nice when we go play and we end up in bigger venues. You know, like lately we played in Trondheim Jazz Festival or with a Dutch trio. I've been touring for the whole winter in beautiful venues, incredible, beautiful. And I remember when we started, we were kids, and you know we were dreaming about being in these venues. So every time we are on a bigger venue and then I look at them and then I think look where we got, you know. It's very very I'm actually getting emotional because it's very emotional for me because like that's every time I play with them in this kind of context I think it's an highlight of my career because I can see our path, let's say.
That's amazing. So, final question for you:
Yeah.
what advice would you give? So, let's say somebody was really inspired. They really want to make a career with their piano playing. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, first of all, be aware that it's not easy and it never gets easy, I think because, yeah. And because it's not easy, I think the more specific you are in your studies and also in your dreaming. Your dream, I think, should be specific. And you have to ask yourself many questions. Which kind of an artist I want to be? Which kind of venues I want to perform on? Which kind of countries I want to travel to? Do I want to travel? Do I want to be the leader of my own band? Do I want to be sideman? Do I want to be versatile, or I want to specialize in one specific kind of music? So you have to ask yourself many, many questions, and I think you have to be very specific, because this thing, once a friend of mine told me many years ago, and now I'm actually telling always to the young people. It's like, why people should come to your concert and not to mine tonight. Tonight there are two concerts, your concert and my concert. Why people decide to come to your concert? He said, I know why people should come to my concert, but do you know why people should come to your concert? And there was a very simple question, no? It's not, but then it made me think for years and years, because you have to question yourself a lot, and also what I'm giving to the people. What is so special about me? So I would encourage the young people to ask themselves these questions. I think this was one of my best lessons, I think, because everything I had it clear in my mind. I think it happened. What it didn't happen is what I didn't have it. It was not clear for me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So things that were clear kind of happened. It's like, I really would like to play there, in this kind of setting, playing this music, and basically it happened. And sometimes I even dare to dream big, and this is really incredible. I'm gonna play. I was invited by the Lincoln Center in New York, so I'm gonna play in New York with my trio in July. And for me, this is a big thing. It's a big achievement, and I was dreaming about it. Because this is a venue that, it was a realistic dream, because if you get to a good level in that kind of music, why not? You know what I mean? But then you have to know exactly which kind of music you're playing, and then you can dream about the venues. Because if I play rock music or not, but I cannot dream about Lincoln Center. You know what I mean? You have to understand who you are and dream big, but adjust your dreams, even if they're big, according to who you are. And then it's easier. Then it's easier than saying, I want to be a musician, let's see what happens. No.
Yeah. So really focus.
Yeah, really focus. Exactly.
Thank you very much for sharing your dreams with us.